start breaking it down. This is the official picture right here. This is the full thing. Yeah, we got David Corenswet in the Superman suit, pulling on his boots like every man does to every man. That's what Superman is. He puts on his boots one boot at a time, just like everyone else in his apartment. And there's look like there's a potential disaster going on in the background. So I want to break this down piece by piece, talk about how I feel, and then I'll get to you guys in the live chat and have discussions. So drop all your comments, thoughts, and opinions in the comments down below. If you're watching this afterwards or on replay, definitely drop your comments and we'll talk about it in the comment section. And if you are a channel member, you saw my initial reaction to this. I did a live stream yesterday around 8 p.m. Breaking down my first initial reaction without doing any deep dives. So let's focus on his face, right? So his face here, this is David Corenswet with this full Superman look. He has the Superman hair, even though he has the S curl there, as you can see. What I gotta say about the S curl and how it looks weird in this picture. It looks like it's kind of attached to the side of his head and not actually there. And obviously, if you look at his eyebrows, he doesn't look like he has any eyebrows. It's weird that it feels like they lightened it up. I don't know if this is because something happened in battle. His eyebrows got singed off. I have no idea, obviously. But he has a Super Saiyan 3 Goku look going on. Where there's no eyebrows, but the bone in the eyebrows very profuse. He's looking down. He looks befuddled. This was dropped on a Monday, so he's probably like, oh God, Mondays. You know what I mean? So I not too super excited about this being the first look and reveal of his face. I think that he's under a lot of pressure with a lot of people who love Henry Cavill, and I think they should have shown him in his best light. I don't think this is in the best light. We'll talk about the narrative of the photo after, but just the reveal of it and how the suit looks. Let's get into the emblem. So that's the emblem. It looks scuffy, it looks dirty. So obviously this picture is after a battle. He had a battle, he fought someone, and the suit is scuffed up. Looking at the emblem, this is a remnant of not All-Star Superman, but Kingdom Come Superman. And that logo, instead of the black, they put the yellow, which is really interesting. I know if that's going to be a transition, we're going to eventually get Kingdom Come Superman later on, maybe after 3 or 4 films or 5 films or something like that. And that's where they're going to go with it in the end. But it's a very interesting choice. When you look at the suit right here, it kind of looks baggy. It kind of looks like a coat. Kind of, you can see like creases, and it doesn't look like it's onto his body. It doesn't look like he's filling it out, which is a weird choice. I don't know if this is like an early onset photo that they did, and they were like, we got to drop something because we don't have nothing else prepared. But I do feel like it looks a little baggy here, just in general, like even like the neck part of the suit. If you look at it, that's a little far away. It doesn't look like it's on tight. When you get down to the leg part, him pulling on the boots, this is where things is weird, and I put on my thumbnail AI Superman for a reason, because why is the foot part so bright and blue, which is what I expected, not this little, this dark and dirty version of it, and not the dirt. Why is it not dark and dirty as well? It does seem like something an AI would do, like, oh, this is perfect, the top is messed up, his face is angry, but the bottom is clean and nice, like he'd never been in a fight. It doesn't make sense unless in this scene he was cleaning his pants and didn't get to clean the top yet. That would make sense. But yeah, those are my initial reactions for this. I feel like I don't like this as a first reveal for this movie. I think that it's just a weird reveal, and obviously it's dividing DC fans overall. I like the narrative of the photo, right? Superman, he's just like us, putting a boot on one at a time, just finishing work, and another disaster is happening, and he's putting his boots on, and he's just like begrudgingly doing it because maybe he wanted to sip some tea, maybe he wanted to watch his favorite show, maybe he wanted to do something else than face another disaster after whatever. And my theory for this is that this photo is a after credit scene for this film. I don't think this is going to be a main thing in this film. This is just a theory. There's no context within what James Gunn said. I think this is a theory I have about this being a after credit scene, and I'm going to talk about why I think this is an after credit scene, because of this thing right here, which looks absolutely awful. This looks so stupid. This looks like the Gallic Gun versus Goku's Kamehameha wave, right? But just not VFX'd well. So I'm thinking the VFX is not done because this movie is over a year out. So I'm sure the VFX is not done. It looks like a painting, but not like a great one. This looks fan made. Unfortunately, overall, there's just so much going on here in terms of like the way the light is reflected. The room doesn't really look that real. It's just the blurry city and everything like that. It doesn't look tangible. I think that's my main issue. It doesn't look tangible. It doesn't look like a great representation of the first thing you want to see of Superman. But let's talk about this. Let's talk about some positives. If this is an after credit scene, or even if it's in the movie, what could this be? So there's a couple things that I did some research on and looked up, and multiple characters. We have 4 choices where this could go, because this movie is obviously inspired by the New 52. This suit looks very New 52-ish, mixed with a Kingdom Come logo. You see the collar, you see the over design on his costume. He does have the trunk, so he's taking from different places, which is great. But this James Gunn has said for himself, the story is very inspired by All-Star Superman, and some of the characters that are revolved on that is one of them is here, right? This could be what this ball is right here. This is the first appearing in All-Star Superman. The Sun Eater resides in the Fortress of Solitude and is something of a pet of the Man of Steel, a bit a powerful one, as the creature literally eats suns. When the villain is Solaris, more of him later, we're going to be talking about that, comes to attack Earth, the Sun Eater comes to aid Kal-El, but ultimately meets his demise. We know the Fortress of Solitude is set to appear in James Gunn reboot, so what are the odds that the Sun Eater makes a cameo? This is potentially, could be the Sun Eater versus Solaris, right? This could be them, because it looks like 2 different beams hitting each other. So this could be the Solaris coming. Let's talk about Solaris, right? This is the thing that could be fighting Sun Eater if this is after credits scene or in the movie. It says, as Superman is said to be taking inspiration partly from All-Star Superman, another giant entity that appears in the comic is Solaris. It's an artificial solar computer that works with Lex Luthor, who's the main villain of Superman in the DCEU in this first film, to depower the Man of Steel by turning the sun red. While Superman managed to defeat the powerful computer, it uses the last of its power to turn the sun blue, a condition that usually gives Kryptonians more power. However, in the case of All-Star Superman, the Man of Steel was already dying due to having cells oversaturated by solar energy, and the sun turning blue merely sped up his demise. So that's another character that could be in there. I could see Lex Luthor figuring out what Superman's source of power is, getting in contact with an alien. It is very similar to, Batman vs Superman, but it can be done in a more streamlined manner. And the final character, which is going to be really, really exciting and what people really, really want, is... Oh, wait, no, sorry. This is not the final character. This one is the War World, right? A lot of people have been wanting to see this come to live action. We've seen this in Justice League. We've seen this in Young Justice. We've seen this in different animated things. There's been a hint that Mongo will show up in Superman because his daughter showed up in James Gunn's Suicide Squad. And we know that movie and the characters in that movie will be moving on in the DCU. So there's a possibility that Mongo already exists in this universe. But the spear attacking Metropolis definitely seems eerily similar to the villain's ship, Warworld. One of the mobile planets that's a spaceship, Warworld serves as an irreplaceable asset in Mongo's quest for galactic domination. In the DCU wants to distinguish itself from the past iterations of the Man of Steel, there aren't too many other better options than introducing Mongol and Warworld, which will be very, very interesting in so many different ways. Recently in the comics, when they rebranded DC again with Rebirth, Superman went to Warworld and he brought the Outsiders, and part of the Outsiders were what's the movie? The Authority, and we know we're getting the Authority. So that could be setting up for something where Superman and the Authority have to fight Mongol. That's a definitely big possibility. And obviously the one that a lot of people want to see is Brainiac, right? Though it's very highly likely that, one of the DC comics that, a lot of people wish list for a villain is Brainiac. And like this says, the images lacks the distinguishable tentacles or the face that typically adorns Brainiac's ships. Various versions of the Kryptonian computer spacecraft has been shown to have retractable tentacles. As mentioned above, there are many villains better than Mongol for the Man of Steel to face on the big screen. However, Brainiac is one of them. So that's my breakdown of the image of the story that I think Jay-Z wanted to tell all the viewers, which is us, because this image is not going to be going to the mainstream. This is for us, right? This is the first reveal for us. And that's my personal opinion on how I feel about the picture itself. I don't like the reveal personally, but it does give a lot in terms of the tone of the film, where it's going, and what we could potentially see in villains and things like that. Drop all your comments down below in the live chat. I'm about to jump in there and see what you guys have to say. And also, if you're watching this afterwards, drop in the comments down below. And I want to talk to you guys. How do you guys feel about this first reveal?